Welcome to In Pursuit of Truth. This is your host, Sir Patrick Mack. Ladies and gentlemen, if we are playing a global game of chess, it looks like the Clinton Foundation is going to come up with nothing but bupkis.
My name is Bupkis.
His name is Bupkis.
Yep, that's right, bupkis. And truth be told, I didn't even know what that meant yesterday. I thought it was bupkis, but it's bupkis. And now that I know what it means, I'm going to pretend like I knew all along, and I'm going to use it again with emphasis. Bupkis. Yep, it means nothing. I mean, it doesn't mean nothing. It means something. It has a meaning, but the meaning is nothing. The meaning that it doesn't have, it's nothing is what I'm saying. It's where, like the bit that I'm doing right now. It's nothing of meaning. All right, let's move on to the first Q post, 25:52, 1 minute after the hour of 11. We get this link here to the Wall Street Journal after Mr. Priestap's departure. None of the high-ranking Bureau officials involved in the two investigations will remain with the Bureau. And that's sort of the tagline here in this article. From the Wall Street Journal here, another high-ranking FBI official to depart. And as you can see, I'm here on a paywall. It's not really a very long article, but I'm on a paywall at the Wall Street Journal. But this is, I wanted to point out that this is an article from Byron Tao. Now, I went over here to Public Figure Media, and it looks to be kind of a snippet here, the same snippet from that article. Another high-ranking FBI official to depart, and it's the same wording and everything like that. But this one was written by Andrew McCabe, even though it's literally the same thing. So what we're going to do here is we're going to go here and check out this article, which is pretty interesting here from the conservative TreeHouse. And this was written a couple days ago by Sundance, and then there was none. Bill Priestap resigns. The only remaining FBI counterintelligence official at the center of all Spygate and Clinton investigation issues is departing. The Enigma man, E.W. Bill Priestap, is retiring from the FBI. Bill Priestap is the FBI assistant director in charge of all counterintelligence operations. Keep that in mind. He was in charge of all counterintelligence operations. Priestap was FBI agent Peter Strzok's boss. He was also at the epicenter of the story surrounding every action taken by the FBI in the Clinton investigation and the Trump campaign investigation. Bill Priestap was copied on every email of consequence, including the writing of the Clinton exoneration talking points delivered by FBI Director James Comey. Priestap was the central figure on the FBI side of both Clinton and Trump operations. Bill is mentioned in hundreds of text messages sent by Peter Strzok and Lisa Page. In short, Bill Priestap was everywhere, except where you would most likely expect to find him in media discussion. The timing seems curious, though the Wall Street Journal goes to great lengths to describe the timing as a mere happenstance due to his 20-year service anniversary and the opportunity to retire with full benefits. That was kind of like Andrew McCabe, right? He was trying to get some bennies and he got canned just before. Now, this is actually the excerpt here from the Wall Street Journal here, and let's take you here, which is the quote from Q that Q took after Mr. Priestap's departure. None of the high-ranking Bureau officials involved in two investigations will remain with the Bureau. FBI Director James Comey was fired by President Trump last year, and Deputy Director Andrew McCabe was later dismissed by then Attorney General Jeff Sessions over his contacts with the media days before he was eligible to retire with benefits. And of course, we had Peter Strzok, Lisa Page. Now, if you will remember, Bill Priestap was scheduled to testify right around the same time as Mike Cortan, who was sort of head of public relations. And we didn't really get much info as to what happened there. But we do know that he was scheduled to testify. We didn't see it. We don't know if it was private, public. If it was public, I imagine we would have known about it, right? But we didn't really get much. But Q has led us to believe that a lot of these people basically give their testimony and then they get canned. It was the same thing with Lisa Page, right? She was sort of this cooperating witness. Next thing we see that she was fired. And as you can see here from a previous Q post, Q has posted this kind of thing over and over again, kind of letting us know what's going on with the FBI and DOJ. And there you can see Bill Priestap there. And like I said, he testified with Mike Cortan. I didn't really get much information from his testimony either. But it looks like they've got what they need from him now, and now he is on his way. So the outward story is that he resigned, and maybe that very well is the case. Maybe he was forced to resign. Maybe it's doing it on its own. But he did resign. We will have to kind of wait and see what the exact details were there. But he was definitely aware of all the different emails going on, and particularly, let me take you back here. Right here, including the writing of the Clinton exoneration talking points delivered by FBI Director James Comey. Okay, so he knew that this was more than a matter. He knew that she was being more than just careless, right? Seemed to know everything about it. After all, he's head of all counterintelligence operations, so you didn't know that there were special access programs getting out of your jurisdiction, getting out to China, getting out to Russia, getting out to God knows whoever was paying. Like I said, Hillary Clinton, she's like Costco, right? She'll sell everything, and she does it at bulk. So there we go. Bill Priestap heading out the door. Q says, follow the names on the list provided. Update. And that was the list that I just showed you right there. Panic, panic, panic in D.C. The Clinton Foundation. Nothing to see here. And we just talked yesterday about this memo from Mueller that was basically saying that General Flynn was cooperating in some outside investigations, and it looks like more and more these investigations, these ones that we found redacted on this memo, very likely are investigations into the Clinton Foundation. Yeah, wouldn't that be awesome? Nothing to see here. Q. Let's move on to the next post. Post 2553, 27 minutes after the hour of 1 p.m. And Anon has this picture here, the screenshot, 2018, 12/5. 12 and 5, that's at 9:53 a.m. 9 plus 5 plus 3. Yeah, so here's the screenshot here. POTUS FLOTUS not participating in this evil. Okay, well, this is from George Bush's funeral from the National Cathedral in Washington. And one word to sum up this whole thing: awkward. This looks like a real humdinger right here. So check this out. This is just the same picture blown up. And now I've heard some comments online saying that they were reciting the Nicene Creed. Now, I have not seen this yet. I've been working all day and I just came home. I'm settling down to do this. I've seen some of it, but I have not seen every single minute of it yet. I don't see any part where they were reciting anything. This looked to be the portion where they were singing, and it just looked like there were a lot of people that weren't participating. I didn't see George Bush singing. There were a lot of people that I didn't see singing. So you can let me know if I'm wrong there, but I think that the whole idea that the Anon is trying to say is that POTUS and FLOTUS are not having any of this. And of course, there's a lot of awkward exchanges here. We're going to talk about a little bit of that video in just a minute. Q says, one man who gave up everything, risking his life, himself, and family to fight for and defend we the people. Yeah, can you imagine the amount of hate that is piled onto these two people every single day of their lives? And of course, this has happened to anybody who's sat here in this front row, you know, truly, but particularly President Trump, and particularly right now, to deal with such hate, to try and rid, you know, us of all of these knuckleheads. Q says, bait expends ammunition. Evil has no place here, Q. Let's talk about that in a minute. Right now, let's check out a little bit of this video. Okay, so we're just going to play a little bit of this, and I'm going to walk you through some of my thoughts. I've got the volume on a little bit so you can get a little bit of a feel for it. But as you can see, POTUS and Melania Trump are walking in, and all eyes are on them. I would personally replace this music with Metallica's For Whom the Bell Tolls, and I think this would really paint a better picture, but I don't want to spoil the moment right now. And as you can see, they're kind of walking with a little bit of pace. Melania actually looks a little bit tired, and I can imagine why. They both look a little bit weary, and I'm sure President Trump doesn't want to be there, and you can see it kind of there in, you know, he's sort of going through the motions, but they clearly look uncomfortable. Now, stopping you right there. If you'll notice, look at this smarmy look on this cat right here. Chin held super high, indignation, and he's going to try and boss his way through this. And of course, it's a massive fail. We'll see his face drop as they go to sit down. And there it is right there. Yeah. Betas and alphas. That's the difference right there. And again, you can see that frustration. President Trump, he's going to tough it out today. Now, you've got Mike Pompeo sitting behind them, too, and he's looking actually rather emotional. But in particular, there you go, normal exchange there. Nothing with the Clintons, and look at that. Hillary Clinton doesn't even turn her neck. She looks like she wants to throw up. Now, in particular, one of the most interesting characters that I've seen in this video so far has been Bill Clinton. He seems to show a wide range of emotions, but everyone looks pretty stirred up. Let's go ahead and continue Now, if you'll notice in the upper left part of your screen here, Mike Pompeo, he gives a little smirk, but he seems a little bit emotional. And of course, POTUS and Melania looking very stoic and resigned just to get through this with as much grace as they can. And of course, there's Barack there holding his chin up as high as he can with that little chicken neck of his. And of course, chicken neck has never been an accusation made towards Mikey O here. Then you got Bill, and wait for it, Hillary. And let me pause it right there you go. This should be a classic oil painting someday. So you got POTUS, Melania, Barack, Mikey O, Bill, and Hillary. Bill looking like he's being a little introspective right now. And of course, right here in the center of the picture, looky there. Is that Whitaker right there? Yeah, he's like, soon I'm gonna drop so much freaking FICE up in here. Now, this next clip is of George H.W. Bush, and this is from CBS, so I took the sound off so they won't hit me for copyright. He looks very visibly shaken. Now, outwardly, with a lot of other people around, he was trying to be sort of all laughs and smiles and whatnot, but he looks very, very weak right now, and this is a pretty tough situation for him to get through. You're going to see him as he approaches his seat. He's going to reach in his pocket on the side of the officer here. There he goes. And he's going to pull something out. Now, a lot of people were thinking this was something weird that he passes off to Michelle. Now, watch him go through everybody, kind of beelines through just about everybody, even Barack Obama. And he's going to hand something to Michelle Obama there. And you'll see the smile. And she kind of gives a little chuckle. And he then goes over to greet the Clintons. Now, I want you to watch his face as he goes past President Trump. They greet each other pretty warmly the other day. Watch this look. Not so much. He just wants to get it right done. But it wasn't necessarily meant to be any kind of I don't know if he was trying to take a slight at him. I think he's just really super, super nervous. But going back to that pass, I know some people online were saying that it looked like something nefarious. We'll take a look at it one more time. I really, truly believe this was just a piece of candy. If you'll remember from the McCain funeral, he did a similar thing the last time. He had candy in his mouth and he shared a piece with her, and I think that just made her chuckle. I think that's all it was. There were some people thinking it could be other things. You can let me know what you think, but here again, once again, watch his look as he gets past President Trump. Just wants to get through what's going to be a really rough day. Now, thanks to BabyCake680 on Twitter who posted this. And before we watch it, because it's going to be a quick clip, I want you to see what happens. They're thumbing through their program, and something will drop out in Hillary's lap. It's a little envelope, and it's going to be curious, and it kind of surprises her too, and she starts to check it out. Now, Jimmy Carter sitting next to her notices this and checks his own program, starts to thumb through it, and realizes he doesn't have it. And upon noticing that, he looks at his wife and checks to see if she does. So it looks like only Hillary gets this. Check this out. Here she goes, and whoop. Oh, wait, what's that? And then he goes immediately to check his. Nope. Don't have one of mine. And oh, doesn't look like good news. Uh-oh, what's going on? Open that envelope, Hillary. What do you have in there? Is that an indictment? Now, we're going to watch this on loop a few times from the Washington Pundit. There was a better video that showed what he does with his hand here. But watch, she's going to show him, Laura Bush is going to show him something, and he immediately reacts. And he actually kind of wipes his hand on the pleat of his jacket. He's clearly disturbed at whatever she shows. And watch her face as she turns away from him. Yikes. God, dog, is there an indictment there for you too? Sucks to be you. Well, look, it looks like they're just prolonging the inevitable. And this is where Q says bait expends ammunition. We've talked about this before, and Q has mentioned this before. And I want to make a couple points regarding this. Number one, I've always kind of held to this idea of really not getting too wrapped up in these projected dates, because we know that everybody's watching Q. Everybody's reading Q. Even people that don't believe Q, don't like Q, or completely against Q, or everyone who's all for it. Everyone seems to be checking it out, right? And that's where I think most of the disinformation is going to come. That's the bait. If you know that your enemy is watching, you're going to provide all kinds of information so that people can kind of guess. And everybody wants to guess about these dates. I get emails all the time from people, I think very well-meaning, saying, hey, man, this is all going to drop on the 22nd or the 13th or this and that. And they got all sorts of numbers and reasons and probably good, interesting ideas as to why it could be that. But the fact of the matter is that we don't really know, because some of this is still being played by both sides. And this is a clear example of it. Dropping this whole promise of a D5. Well, it gets everybody shaken up, right? And including them. And that's sort of the point. They gave up one of their princes right here. Prince of Darkness just went down. And that's a big, big deal. It's a former president, right? And it took the death of a former president to keep this Huber thing from dropping this week, to keep from Comey giving his testimony, Aunt Loretta Lynch giving her testimony. This is a big, big deal. We're talking about national security. We're talking about treason. Evil has no place here. And we saw it right there in that picture. It's all summed up. So much can be said in that picture. It's really, truly incredible. I wondered about the young kids that were like in the choir and whatnot. I wondered if they really, really knew the magnitude of the event they were participating in. But you see what I mean, right? So every time we threaten this D class, and I've said this all along too, it's my second point. Every time we threaten that D class, they go scurrying and they go flinching and they go doing stupid stuff because they know what happens in a D class. They know what it's all about. This gives them opportunities to sell each other out. You know, you can only blow up so many schools. You can only down so many planes. You can only shoot up so many nightclubs. You know what I'm saying? They are burned out, and you can see it on a lot of their faces. Many of them just looking resigned to their own fate. They're either getting replaced, they're getting boomeranged, or they're just being flat out getting rid of. Q says evil has no place here. Now, before we move on, I want to show you this. CNN posted this on Twitter, and as you can see, this is labeling everybody that is in attendance. And I don't really want to direct your attention to everybody who is there. As you can see, you can pause the video if you really want to go into it. But the only one I really want to point out is the one who is not mentioned, which is right here to the left of 23. I pointed him out already, A.G. Whitaker. That's funny. I spotted him. Maybe I'm wrong. Sure looks like a spitting image of him. Considering that he's the acting AG, you would think that you'd want to maybe list him, but I guess CNN didn't want to mention that. All right, well, I mentioned it. There you go. Post 2554, 46 minutes after the hour, 2 p.m. We get this link right here, Full House Committee, Oversight and Government Reform. And here's your starting lineup right here. This is headed up by Trey, Get Up, and Gowdy. And then we have another ranking member over here, Elijah. One day I'm going to get what's comings. And here's some of the bench team here, headed up by Jim. Look at this jacket, Jordan. Oh, looking sporty, Jim. All right, well, you can cruise through that. Trey Gowdy, of course, being the chairman. Looking all, that's his oversighty face right there. Will another attempt to delay be made? Yeah, likely. Delay for the Dems to control the House. James Comey and Loretta Lynch. And we talked about this a little bit in my last video. James Comey most certainly would like to delay this as long as possible. I think he'd like to go last. I think he would like to go after Loretta Lynch. I think he would definitely like to go after Huber drops whatever he's got to drop. Now, I don't think Huber's testimony is going to be the big thing. The D class is the D class. Either way, but it should be big, and James Comey would love to go after that, because whatever Huber drops, then anything after that could be seen as perjury. So I would imagine both James Nobody's homie Comey and Aunt Loretta Lynch are sweating it to getting it right now. See something, say something. And that's why we're seeing all these moves and counter moves. So there's likely going to be other events in attempt to delay this. Q adds on to that in 58 minutes after the hour of 2 p.m. Whitaker, Horowitz, Huber, and Ray. Long meetings held within a SCIF, being a sensitive compartmented information facility. Unusual. Usually indicates something highly important was discussed or planned. All right, so this seems to me like these guys are discussing exactly how we're going to go ahead and drop this. They're probably very aware that the deep state has already planned more moves, and who knows what they are. And I don't really think in this case we're dealing with school shootings and, you know, that kind of stuff. I think we're talking about some serious business here. But whatever it was, these guys had to meet in a SCIF, so it probably involves some serious tactical information. That is a little bit, unnerving, of course, but also very exciting. We can see that we are starting to get ourselves deep here in the fourth quarter, and everybody's sweating. Like I said, man, when you off a president of the United States. Now, we don't know exactly how this all went down. All we know is that the funeral had to throw off this event. Okay, so we have a lot of ideas of how it happened to George Bush and whatever. I don't really want to say that it doesn't matter, but for the optics of it, of course, President Trump needs to go ahead and play ball, show up, salute, do his thing, and be a president. Okay, it's easy to say that, he shouldn't have done that, Well, not when you're the president of the United States of America. Optics are crucial, right? So, of course, moves and counter moves. And like I said, the other day, I think, Mueller coming out talking about General Flynn was another counter move. We're going to have to see what ends up happening with Huber. It's supposed to be the 13th now, but who knows? This game isn't over yet, so I'm not counting on any dates. I'm just going to have to watch it as it happens. Let's move on to the next post. 25:56. 27 minutes after the hour of 3, 27 minutes and 27 seconds after the hour of 3. The blue checkmark fake news Twitter personalities are out in full force today, attempting to push another false narrative that arrests were supposed to occur today. Controlled narrative, #facts matter. How much attention does Q receive from the fake news media? Why are they working so hard to try and discredit something they labeled as a fake conspiracy? People awake are what they fear the most. Loss of control, the great awakening, where we go one, we go all. Q. Yeah, this is super, super serious. And for those of you who are not on Twitter, of course, so much is said and shown and exchanged on Twitter. I can understand if you're not into that sort of thing, but for myself as a content creator, of course, I gotta be on there. So much happens in President Trump's tweets. And many people's tweets. But all these blue checkmark, basically these Jack Dorsey approved Twitter knuckleheads that get to say whatever they want, are pushing tons of stuff. And now here Q is talking about this false narrative that arrests were supposed to occur today. Well, I think that seems to be an effort to dishearten QAnon followers. And again, it just goes back to my point about being careful about the dates. If you just decide to dig your heels in and go day by day and try and get the wins where you can, you're going to get yourself a win. But if you're worried about expectations and then something doesn't meet those expectations, doesn't necessarily mean that Q promised us something and then didn't deliver if we don't completely understand the plan. I hope that makes sense. But as we watch this happen, it looks to me like, and of course I've gotten a ton, particularly in the last 24 hours, so much hate on Twitter. I get it all the time anyway, but I mean, really, over the last 24 hours, it has been something to behold. And of course, I kind of put out a bait tweet to kind of allow that to happen. But it just goes to show they are really wanting to go at our morale and our spirit. And I think that if you want to get yourself pumped up, just watch that funeral, and you can see on whomever's face you want to go ahead and focus in on. You can see how they feel. Their body doesn't lie at this point, and we are clearly winning. And it looks to me like the deep state is really, they can try and prolong this all they want. Look, nothing can stop what is coming. Nothing. That doesn't mean nothing can't delay what is coming, but nothing can stop what is the inevitable. And at the end of the day, the deep state is ending up with a bunch of bupkis.
Bounce back with Bupkis.
25:57, 47 minutes after the hour of 5 p.m. We get this Hill link right here. Q asks us, what do you want for Christmas? I can tell you exactly what I want.
I want a Whopper. I want a Whopper with the extra sauce. Give me them sesame seed buns. I want some pickles. I want cheese on top of cheese. I want fat on top of fat.
Yes, bacony cheesy goodness. We're on the Hill from John Solomon, so it's probably worth reading. FBI email chain may provide most damning evidence of FISA abuses yet. Just before Thanksgiving, House Republicans amended the list of documents they'd like President Trump to declassify in the Russia investigation. With little fanfare or explanation, the lawmakers, led by House Intelligence Committee Chairman Devin Nunes, added a string of emails between the FBI and the Department of Justice to their wish list. Sources tell me the targeted documents may provide the most damning evidence to date of potential abuses of the Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Act, FISA, evidence that has been kept from the majority of members of Congress for more than 2 years. The email exchanges included then FBI Director James Comey, key FBI investigators in the Russia probe, and lawyers in the DOJ's National Security Division, and they occurred in early to mid-October before the FBI successfully secured a FISA warrant to spy on Trump campaign advisor Carter Page. The email exchanges show the FBI was aware, before it secured the now infamous warrant, that there were intelligence community concerns about the reliability of the main evidence used to support it, the Christopher Steele dossier. The exchanges also indicate FBI officials were aware that Steele, the former MI6 British intelligence operative, then working as a confidential human source for the Bureau, had contacts with news media reporters before the FISA warrant was secured. The FBI fired Steele on November 1st, 2016, 2 weeks after securing the warrant, on the grounds that he had unauthorized contact with the news media. But the FBI withheld from the American public and Congress until months later that Steele had been paid to find his dirt on Trump by a firm doing political opposition research for the Democratic Party and for Democratic presidential candidate Hillary Clinton, and that Steele himself harbored hatred for Trump. Okay, so many of us are very familiar with the FISA story, and if you're not, I've got months upon months of videos talking about FISA. We're just going to find out some more about these emails here. Now, let me go down to this part here. These issues are why the FBI email chain kept from most members of Congress for the past 2 years suddenly landed on the declassification list. The addition to the list also comes at a sensitive time as House Republicans prepare on Friday to question Comey, who signed off on the FISA warrant while remaining an outlier in the intelligence community about the Steele dossier. Most intelligence officials, such as former CIA Director John Brennan and former Director of National Intelligence James Clapper, have embraced the concerns laid out in the Steele dossier of possible but still unproven collusion between the Trump campaign and Russia. Okay, so I will let you read this if you are not familiar too much with this whole FISA story, but it looks like another threat, just another batch, and it seems to me that this is how it's all kind of being played. As much as we all want bacony, cheesy goodness, we're probably not going to get it with a side of fries. It's going to come one entree at a time, right? But it does look like it's just another reason to hold James Comey's feet to the fire, like I've said before, and get the pressure to basically get him in there to testify. And he's probably not going to get to do it before Huber. He's probably not. He may be able to get to do it after Aunt Loretta Lynch. We'll have to see what happens. But either way, he is very, very worried about perjuring himself, and it seems like that is what the next move is really all about. Let's move on to the next post, 2558. We get another Fox link here, 50 minutes after the hour of 5 p.m. Q says it's all just a conspiracy. Nothing to see here. Nothing is happening. Russia, Russia, Russia. And the link takes you to Fox. This is regarding Bill Priestap. The title is Obama's FBI brass hollowed out after latest resignation of key official. Another top FBI official who helped oversee the Trump, Russia, and Clinton email investigations is retiring as the last traces of the Bureau's embattled leadership team that once stood under Barack Obama's presidency disappear. Okay, so the way I was kind of taking this as, if we look back to that post that I showed you earlier with all the resignations, and we've seen it quite a few times with Q, looks to me like that very well could be Q's Christmas list. And that Christmas list is just about checked off, right? Maybe that's why Q is asking what we want for Christmas. Q knows exactly what we want for Christmas. We want cheese on top of cheese. We want fat on top of fat, right? So we won't probably be happy until we get that. I think Q Anon knows very well we're not going to be happy until we get that. We've still got a lot of big events happening this month. Will it all drop before Christmas? Will what all drop before Christmas? We're not really sure. This is going to go on for quite some time, but we would probably really, really love one big fat Christmas miracle. That was me right there. rehearsing my little Christmas miracle. For those of you who don't know, I volunteered for a Christmas choir, and they thought that maybe my talents would be suited better elsewhere, so they gave me those, and I just stuck them all over my body. I think it's coming out all right. 25:59, 6 p.m. Russia equals the real conspiracy.
I know that.
Define projection. What happens when they lose control and the truth is exposed? What happens when people no longer believe or listen to the fake news controlled media, controlled Hollywood, controlled blue, check mark, Twitch, shills, etc., etc.? Well, it's a good question because I guess we don't really know. We don't know the difference, right? Even people who are aware of the fact that they're lying to us. Look, there's so much to know about our world, whether it be in the realm of science or literature or history or spirituality. There's so much to dig up about this world and so much that's been suppressed for so long. How are we supposed to know how we're all going to react once it finally starts spilling out? And I can't imagine it all happening in a period of 2 weeks. It's going to happen like everything has always happened, bit by bit by bit. But at least we're starting to take those steps, and I can't help but believe that that's the case. We can see MSM is struggling. No matter how they want to present themselves, they're struggling, and more alternative truth channels, if you want to call them, whatever you want to call them, are popping up. And it's a great time to be alive. It really, really is. It's a little bit freaky, and we don't know where this is going to take us. Once we discover all these secrets about our world, how are we going to react to that? We have no idea, but the only way to know is to start taking steps forward. Is it all going to happen in one day? No, but there will be probably massive monumental events along the way. We don't know when they're going to be, and we can't date them, and who knows, but that's the excitement of life, right? Either way, it's a great awakening. It's an amazing time to be alive. I love sharing it with you. Sheep no more. We the people, forgotten country, we fight. Q. Those are your Q posts right there, ladies and gentlemen. If you like this video, please click like, share, and subscribe. And if you didn't like this video, you can still do it anyway, and maybe you'll get yourself your own little Christmas miracle. That could be yours. Yep. All my links are down below to my Gab, my BitChute, my Brighteon.com. I am, of course, over at Twitter at IPOT1776. That's at IPOT1776. My email is down below, and if you'd like to support the channel, my Patreon link is down below too. And if you're really old school, I got a P.O. box down there as well. All those links are down below. If you're new to my channel, please understand that from time to time you will be unclicked and unliked and unsubscribed. So please just check back from time to time. Thanks to all of you who like and share my videos and help get this message out. I greatly appreciate it. And I just want to address one simple little thing. Lately there have been some channels that are basically taking my videos and just uploading them to their channel. There's so many that I really kind of can't keep up with them, so thanks for those of you who let me know. There's not really too much that I can do other than just kind of report them here and there, but you know how I get along with Susan Wojcicki, CEO of YouTube, so I can only do my best to kind of stay on top of what I can do and just hope for the best and just keep doing my thing. But thanks for all of you who've been sharing that too. So all right, this is Sir Patrick Mac, and until next time, stay funky fresh.